Hey YouTube, Zealous Talon here, and we're going to take a quick look at the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Legacy Mask Collection. So, first off, quick look at the box. As you can see, I don't have them in the packaging, but similar to the roleplay gear that we'll take a look at later, this comes in a window style packaging as opposed to the Zords having a solid packaging, so you can actually see what's in here. So, it's kind of a weird packaging. You kind of have to open both sides and then slide out a tray, and then there's this clamshell in here which has all of the masks in it. But as you can see, Legacy Mask Collection, although only Legacy is in foil, Mask Collection is just normal flat box art. You have all 6 Rangers, all 6 of the Season 1 Rangers there. And on the side, got your story in 3 languages because this is North America. So you can read it depending on whether or not you speak English, French, or Spanish. So moving that off to the side, quick look at the masks themselves. So really cool. You got Blue Ranger, Pink Ranger, Red Ranger, Green Ranger, Yellow Ranger, Black Ranger. So Billy, Kimberly, Jason, Tommy, Trini, and Zach. And you also have their names and emblems here. It's a sticker, but it's a textured sticker, so it's actually like raised where it's all gold and stuff, but you can see their color designation and their emblem right underneath the helmet. Now each helmet does come off of the base. We're just going to start with Billy here since he's on the side. And him and I feel like this one and the Zach helmet came out the best because they all have this really heavy panel lining, which isn't really accurate to the actual helmet design. It kind of makes it look sort of like comic booky. But the lining is less noticeable on Billy and Zach's helmets because they have the darker helmet, and Zach's panel lining is actually white, but I actually like his since it brings out the detail. But talking about Billy here, since we have him in hand, really nice. These are all molded in white plastic, and they come in 2 halves. So if they're a little bit loose on the neck, just kind of squeeze them together. But really nice, silver horns on the Triceratops. You got a nice metallic black, or it's a gloss black, excuse me, for the visor. Silver down here. And then it's kind of odd to me, like it's like they pick and choose on a somewhat arbitrary basis what to line and what not to, because like the mouth itself is not lined, but the area around it is. And there's other areas where there could have been lining, but they chose not to, and it's just very kind of odd. But I mean, it looks good enough, but it's just odd. So you can set that there. We'll take a look at Kimberly's next. Again, and the lining is a lot more noticeable on hers because it contrasts more, but you can see just how heavy that is. And I would have preferred that they either not had it, or if they really insisted on doing this, it should have been just like thinner and maybe use gray instead of black. It should have just been more subdued than what we got. But I mean, the sculpt itself is just spot on, and the colors, other than the lining, again, are just perfect. So there we go. And of course Kimberly's is funny because it's honestly more white than pink. On to Jason's. Again, just strange, like why is this area not lined but this on the side is. But I mean, again, other than this really heavy lining, it comes out looking really good. And all of the teeth for the the Tyrannosaurus mouth around the visor, those are all picked out in silver. Nothing really going on the back, but I mean, his is kind of like the most neutral design out of all of them, honestly, if you ask me. But then again, I just, Jason was my boy back in the day, so, I just have a very I have a great familiarity with this helmet, so really dig it. Dig how it came out. Like, they all came out looking good. It's just the lining is weird. That's the only thing that throws me off about this entire set. Tommy's helmet, of course, looks awesome. Always loved the Green Ranger helmet. Again, teeth are in silver. Honestly, I think I like it just because it looks so much like the Tyrannosaurus helmet, but it's more ornate. Really nice gloss black for the eyes and the visor. The gem came out really good. You got the red there, and then just a tiny little bit of gold around it, but just enough that it's there. So again, turned out really, really excellent. And then here we have Trainee's yellow helmet, which again, just weird. Why is that not lined if they lined all the rest of it? Hers again just came out weird, and again, nothing really going on the back. But the fangs, again, really nice silver, and there's really not a lot of slop on hers. That's kind of the other thing that bugs me about the lining, is that's really the only areas where you get slop in that I've seen sloppiness in the painting. So it's I wish they had just not done it, but maybe they felt like these needed to look a little bit more colorful or dynamic or have more contrast than the basic helmet design, because it's $30 set. At least when it came out. I don't know if it's still available at that price. This was one of the first legacy items, but that's basically $5 a pop if you think about it, $5 a helmet. Although, I mean, you also get the stand, so that's not an entirely fair breakdown of it, but still just a little bit odd. And then finally, Zach's actually probably came out the best, because you really need you need some kind of lining on his, because since it's black, the detail doesn't come out through any natural shadow or anything. You kind of have to pick it out. But his is done in a light gray, which works really well. This is honestly the kind of lining color that they should have used for the rest of the Ranger helmets, in my opinion. Tusks came out great. Trunk looks great. There's a little tiny bit of sloppiness in the lining on the trunk, but otherwise, nice kind of a yellowish for the eye. I'm trying really hard to figure out if that's gold or yellow. It's really just kind of weird, because it doesn't look like the same gold that's on Tommy's helmet, and it's the same color that's on Billy's helmet. It's just this weird. It's more yellow than gold. It's like a metallic yellow. It's kind of strange, but at the same time, I kind of dig it. And then his is, even though they're all painted, I mean, except for half of Kimberly's helmet, because it's just the natural white plastic. Zach's came out a lot glossier than anyone else's. Everyone else's helmet has almost a satin finish, and his is extremely glossy. So, again, it's a cool little set, and I actually, I mean, it's not the most exciting thing, but if you want a nice little display of all of the Ranger helmets, it's pretty cool. And, I don't know how well this one went over in general, but it would be kind of nifty if Bandai redid this with the movie helmets, instead of as another set. If they just took all of these but did it with the movie helmets instead of the season 1 helmets. I think that would be actually kind of a cool idea. And for $30, it's not awful. If you can find it for a lower price than that, that's probably better. 30's honestly a little bit much for what you're getting. especially with like I feel like maybe they tried to like make it look more collectible with the lining, but it just kind of comes off as being unnecessary, and in some ways it's just kind of oddly distracting. And yet I still really like the set. I really do. It's just, it's not perfect, I guess. So and it's obviously inspired by the Super Sentai Mask Collection, but they only do Red Rangers for that. So if you want to have the full team of MMPR Rangers, this is kind of your option. And I think those Sentai helmets are like $8 or $10 a pop, so this is actually a much better deal, since you're getting 6 helmets for what like 3 or 4 of those would cost you. So again, this has been Zealous Talon with a look at the Legacy Mask Collection. Have a good one.